Hey, First UMC family, Pastor Shannon here with our weekly update. Well, we are officially 1 week into Lent. And as a church this Lent, we are studying the miracles of Jesus using the book Signs and Wonders by Dr. Amy Jill Levine. Now, this past Sunday, we learned the story of a paralyzed man and how his four friends in faith brought him to Jesus in order to be healed. If you weren't able to be with us this Sunday, you can catch up on the sermon through our YouTube channel. I'll also post a direct link to it here below. Now, Lent is this time when we are intentionally meant to engage in new spiritual practices, new spiritual disciplines. These are different ways of connecting with God and deepening our faith. One of my favorite ways to connect with God is by reading my Bible, studying Scripture. I find that with Scripture, it's kind of like a crystal or a prism, that when you hold it up to the light and kind of turn it around, new colors are constantly revealed. It never looks the same way twice. And Scripture's the same way. We can read a passage 100 times, and there are still new insights and revelations that God's Spirit is revealing to us. This is especially true when we study Scripture in community, as we're doing during our Lenten Bible study, which meets Sundays at 9 a.m. When we engage in a Scripture with others, we hear different thoughts and different perspectives that we maybe wouldn't have considered before. And it's just a way that we can grow in our faith as we learn not only from God through the Bible, but from each other as well. One of my favorite ways to read Scripture individually is through the practice known as Lectio Divina, which is Latin for sacred reading or divine reading. It's this way when you slowly and meditatively read through a short passage of Scripture, kind of savoring each word. You don't rush through it. With Lectio Divina, the goal is quality, not quantity. If you're interested in discovering more about Lectio Divina, I'll post a link below that has a little bit more explanation and instructions on how you can practice that at home. John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, considered studying Scripture to be a means of grace, a way that God's grace can form in our lives as we encounter God through the pages of the Bible. So my hope and prayer for you this week is that you would encounter God's grace, whether it's through studying Scripture or another spiritual practice, but that you may grow in God's grace today.